A very good evening to all of you. Thanks for joining us on a weekend. I hope you guys are doing well. So in today's session, so we will be covering things like how important is the GRE, is vocabulary for GRE, is it enough for you to get a good GRE score, etc., etc. So is there anyone here who has started their GRE preparation? So if you have already started your GRE preparation, can you raise your hands? So if you have already started your GRE prep, all right. So it need not be with Jamboree. It can be with anybody. You may be doing it on your own. So in those of you who have started your GRE preparation, just raise your hands. Those of you who have not started, you don't have to do anything. Okay, great. So quite a lot of you have started your GRE preparation already. So that's good. So you will understand, what I am trying to say. Okay. So before we proceed, I would just like to know the makeup of today's audience. So if you are already a Jamboree student, can you click yes in the poll that might have popped up on your screen? If you're not a Jamboree student, then just click on no. Just take a minute to fill out the poll. So the poll that has popped up on your screen, so that's where you have to select. So if you are already a Jamboree student, then click yes. If you are not a Jamboree student, then click no. So I'm still waiting for some of you to respond to the poll. Please do so. Please respond to the poll. So there are about 7, 8 of you who have not responded to the poll. So please respond to the poll. Okay, all right. So those of you who are not Jamboree students, I saw that there are quite a few of you who are not Jamboree students. So just a little bit about Jamboree. So we started operations in 1993, and we are the first of the kind. So there were not study abroad focused companies before we started in 1993. Currently, we have physical offices in 39 locations in 22 cities spread across 4 countries. We also have a very strong online presence. Our classes we deliver both in the online mode and in virtual classroom mode. Some of you who are Jamboree students, you would know that we have been taking our classes online through various webinar platforms right from day one of the lockdown. In fact, we started a couple of days before the lockdown started. So yes, we have been doing that, and we were able to move so quickly to online teaching because we have been taking classes in virtual classroom mode for like the last 4 or 5 years now. So we already had a setup and our faculty were trained to do so. Someone mentioned that my voice is not clear. Is it fine now? Voice is clear? All right. So at any point of time, if you think that my voice is not clear, then please log out and log in again. There may be internet connectivity at your end, right? Okay. So some of the data that we are extremely proud of, that more than 25% of our students score 320 or more on the GRE, And we have been having the best GRE scores in India since 1993.
Is my voice better? Some of you were expressing some concerns about my voice. Is my audio better now? Is my audio better? Audio one was better.
Okay, how about now? Is my audio better now? Let's first check this out before we proceed. Is my better now? All right. Okay, great. So let's not pause anymore. A lot of you are saying that my voice is better now, so I will just proceed, right? Okay. So as I was telling you that a lot of our students get 320 or more on the GRE exam. Those of you who are not not our GRE students already, if you want us to conduct a free class for you, or if you want to like a free demo class, if you want to see how we teach, please leave your number in the chat. We will arrange a demo class for you. So for those of you who are not Jamboree students, if you want a taste of our class in a sense, right? So you can drop your number in the chat and we'll be happy to give you a free demo class. Okay, moving on. So some matters of hygiene. So during the session, use the chat only when I ask you to. If you keep typing your questions in the chat window, I will not be able to address your queries. So during the presentation, during the session, use the chat only when I ask you to. In the middle, I would be pausing and I would be asking you whether you have any doubts or if you have any questions, and that's when you should type your questions in the chat window. There is a raise hand feature. You have already seen that and used that as well. So if you have a question, then I would ask you to raise hand. I would rather have you ask a question, with your mic on rather than typing it out in the chat window, right? So if you have a question, so when I ask you whether you have a question or not, if you do have a question, raise your hand. I will enable your mic. You ask your question, and then we move on. All right. So some of the reasons why our students end up getting high scores is because we have lots of experience in teaching for GRE. Teaching like being a doctor. You become a better doctor with time because you gain so much experience. You know how to fine tune your methods, etc., etc. So teaching is also something like that. When you have enough experience, right? So when you gain experience, you take those learnings, you modify your courses, you modify your approach, etc., etc. So this is one of the reasons why we have a pretty strong curriculum, and why our students get a very high score is that because we have quite a lot of experience. So we teach, it depends upon you. If you are comfortable in a classroom setting, we have that. If you are comfortable with a virtual classroom setting, and then we have that. If you are comfortable with pre-recorded videos, no direct faculty interaction, but pre-recorded videos, so we have that as well, right? So we have something for everybody in a sense. A little bit about the GRE exam structure. So the exam starts with the AWS section, where you have to write 2 essays, and for each essay you get 30 minutes, so around 1 hour. The exam starts with you have to start the GRE exam by writing essays. Okay, so this sounds boring, but this is a very, very, very important section. A lot of the universities, they have cutoffs for the AWS score. They may not have cutoffs for the math or verbal section, but they will have cutoffs for the AWS section. Often the cutoff is 3.5 to 4. The top 50 universities would expect to see a 4 out of 6 in your AWS section. Then there are 2 math sections, then 2 verbal sections. In all these sections, there are 20 questions. But in the math sections, you get 35 minutes, and in verbal sections, you get 30 minutes. So if you see in the verbal section, you have sections, you have to do 20 questions in 30 minutes. So you get around 1.5 minutes for every question. But that's not just as simple a calculation as that. Some of the questions will take you longer to solve. Reading comprehension is a type of question where you will have to read a pretty long passage and then answer questions. So those type of questions usually take longer. So this 1.5, it is not uniform. It's not that if you are solving a question in 1.5 minutes, that means you are fine. The next question is what type of question was that? If you are solving a sentence completion, that is the fill up the blanks type of questions in 1.5 minutes, then that is too long. You should be taking shorter. You should be taking lesser time in solving those types of questions. The reading comprehension passages, those questions tend to take longer. So time management in GRE is absolutely critical. Of course, in our classes, we do handle that. We do give you shortcuts, etc., to help you solve questions quickly. Now, before I go into vocabulary part, I just wanted to tell that GRE is scored on a scale of 260 to 340. So even if you don't do anything, you will get 260. The computer will give you 260. And if you get all the questions correct, you get a 340. So there are 80 points for you to score, right? Now, of these, 40 points will be for math, and for verbal there will be 40 points. Reading comprehension plus critical reasoning will be 20 points, and sentence, that is like fill up the blanks types of questions, there will be 20 points. So this is guaranteed. This is like 100% fact, right? Your half of the points will come from the math section, half will come from verbal section. Within verbal section also, half the points will come from the reading comprehension type of questions, and the other half, so 20 points, is what will come from your fill up the blanks type of questions, right? So if you check out the official guide, etc., this is how the tests are also divided. Now, of these, now vocabulary, you don't need vocabulary. You don't need very high level vocabulary to solve math questions. You don't need very high level vocabulary to solve the reading comprehension passages, because it's an entire passage. Even if you don't understand the meanings of one or two words here and there, you will get their meanings, or you will understand the gist of it. It's a whole passage to read. So you will be able to solve the questions correctly, even if you don't understand the meanings of the 10-20% words in a reading comprehension passage. So in sentence, so this is where vocabulary is most important. In the fill up the blanks type of questions, that's where your knowledge of vocabulary comes to useful. Now, how useful is that? Right? How much is that? So of these, around 20 questions are based on reasoning ability. So if you go and check, the verbal section on the GRE is called the verbal reasoning section. It is not called verbal ability. So there's a very, very strong focus on your reasoning ability. So there are about 10 points in the fill up the blanks type of questions, where you will get questions where your reasoning skills will be tested. So you may know all the vocabulary in the world, but if your analytical thinking ability, if your logical thinking ability is not good, then you are not going to get those questions correct. Because in these questions, the focus is on your reasoning ability and not on how many words you know, right? So there are about 10 questions. The remaining 10 points would be where your vocabulary would be tested, right? So this is where the vocabulary will be useful for you. Now, if you see, so on the GRE exam, right? On the GRE exam, everybody starts with 260. As I told you, the computer gives you 260, so everybody starts with 260. Now, if you get your math section correct, everything in your math section correct, in our batches, around 50% of the students in every batch ends up getting 170 out of 170 in the math section. That means full score in the math section. So if you practice your math section well, if you do not commit silly mistakes, you will get the 40 points that that are there in the math section. Then in the verbal section, if you pay a lot of attention to your reading comprehension passages, if you practice reading comprehension passages, then you can get 100% accuracy in your reading comprehension types of questions also. Now, if if most of our students have come from engineering background or science background, so their reasoning ability is kind of decent. Plus the tricks and the strategies that we teach in our classes, if you use them properly, then you will end up, then you will not make mistakes in the reasoning based questions. So the 10 points also, it's not that difficult to get. Now let's say that your vocabulary, is very poor. You are not able to learn any new words, etc., etc. Then you will end up getting of course, you will not. The worst case scenario is that you will get 0 in the vocabulary based questions, right? So even then, what is the score that you can end up with? So even then, you have there's a strong possibility of you ending up with a 330 score. So 330 out of 340 is actually a very good score, right? So 1 point is and this is kind of like a misconception with students. Students, they focus so much time and energy on the vocabulary that they tend to take their math section carelessly. So they make silly mistakes and this goes down, right? Then they feel that reading comprehension is boring, so they don't practice enough reading comprehension passages, so this goes down. They don't work hard enough to to practice the strategies that we teach. They don't hard enough to remember the keywords and apply them, so this goes down. And that's why students end up getting far lower than the 330. That is actually quite possible, in spite of, irrespective of your level of vocabulary. So it's a myth that you have to have good vocabulary to get a high score on the GRE. No, to get a high score in the GRE, first of all, make sure that you do well in your math section, right? Make sure that you practice enough in your RC, reading comprehension, your reading speed, your ability to understand what is being asked. You have to have enough practice. You should practice lots of RCs, right? So, and then the reasoning ability, right? So these are what you have to focus on. Vocabulary, you can memorize. If you can memorize 20,000 words or 10,000 words, congratulations, great, you have got a great memory. But that is not going to guarantee these points, by the way. Okay, so yes, you should think about vocabulary. Yes, vocabulary is useful, definitely useful. There are 10, around 10 points you will not get, you will lose out on, if you don't have a decent vocabulary. There are 10 points that you will, to secure these 10 points, you will definitely need to have good vocabulary. So yes, vocabulary is important, but it is not as important as students, think it to be, right? So half your time should not be going into vocabulary. So very often I encounter students who invest 70-80% of their GRE preparation time on learning words, right? So if you're investing 70-80% for something, 70-80% of your time in focusing on something, that is 10 out of 80, right? So the percentage, if you calculate the percentage, is definitely not 80% of this score. At about 20% of this score, 16-17% of this score. So please plan your GRE preparation properly. Don't be too hung up on vocabulary. Even if you know all the words possible, if you memorize the entire Oxford English Dictionary, still you may not be able to get a good score. Okay. Now some things about GRE vocabulary. How is vocabulary tested on the GRE? That you should know, how is it tested? Direct vocabulary is not tested. What it means is that you will not be given a random word and asked to give its meaning, right? So it's not that, okay, what is the meaning of X or what is the meaning of Y? So you will not be asked those types of questions. So direct vocabulary is not tested. The vocabulary that is tested is always contextual in meaning. Contextual means how it appears in a sentence. what is the meaning of a certain word in a sentence, what is the meaning of a certain word in a paragraph, right? Always there is context, and that is good news. It means that if you read little bit in detail the entire sentence or a couple of sentences before and after that word, you will be able to guess the meaning. So that is good news, right? So for example, if I tell you that the same word can have different multiple meanings actually. So contextual meaning, that's why it's important. So if I say that uh, maths is very critical for your GRE score, right? So in that sentence, the word critical means important, right? Or if I say that my mother is always very critical of my cooking, right? So what does that mean? Does it mean that it's important, that mother is very important for my cooking? No, right? In that case, the critical means she criticizes, she is very, she does not appreciate, she criticizes, she finds fault. So in that sentence, the word critical has a different meaning. If I say that the old man is in a very critical condition, the doctors have just moved him to the ICU, right? So in this case, the critical means serious, it has to do with health, serious. It does not mean important, it does not mean to be, to criticize. So and as I said, if you the good news about testing contextual meaning is that you will get hints. If you read the entire sentence, you will know what that word means, what the word is doing in the sentence. Therefore the vocabulary in GRE is not blind. It's not that, okay, have this word, give me the meaning. It's not like that. It's contextual meaning. So even in the vocabulary questions, even when you are asked the meanings, it's like, what is the meaning of this word as it appears in the paragraph, blah blah, etc., etc. Okay. All right, so it's vocabulary is not just words. That's why what I meant, it's not just about the words. It's about what function is that word having in the sentence. What is the overall meaning of the sentence, right? You cannot just fill in any random word that sounds right. It's about what function is it doing in a paragraph, whether the overall meaning of the sentence is fulfilled or not. So it's not just that particular word, the overall meaning. Some of you are preparing for GRE, so a word that may sound correct, but if it is not fitting into the overall meaning of the sentence, then it cannot be a correct answer. Another good news is that GRE does not test you on the unlimited words. GRE has a very particular, a high frequency list of words, the list of words that come very frequently on the GRE exam. So in the Jamboree students, you would know, so we give you a word, we give you 14 word list, right? All of you, the Jamboree students at least know. So we have done the hard work. We have scanned through all the GRE exams, all the official guides of past and current, and then we have come up with this list of a 14 word list, right? So 14 word list close to 1700, 1600, 1700 words. So those are the high frequency words. And among those high frequency words also, you probably already know 50%. Right? So are there any Jamboree students here? So, I mean, how many, the Jamboree students, how many, I mean, you may have started doing your word list, right? So can you type in the, so can you type in the chat window about, that how many till now, how many words do you think you know? No, I mean of the word list that that you have started doing. So what percentage of words you already know? So Gunjan, 20% you already know. Okay, so 500. Okay, so so it's not that you don't know. Is there did you anybody did you see that you had to learn all the words from scratch? Right, 15, 20, 30% you would know. Right? So it will not be the case where you will end up learning 1700 brand new words. You would already know, so you would already know a certain certain percentage of words. So in a sense, it is not that you are like, memorizing, you have to memorize 1700 brand new words with 1700 meanings, right? Most of the words would be familiar, and you would be 100%, you would know the meanings of at least 15 to 30% words, right? So that brings down your effort, right? So yes, it's not unlimited words. We already have already done the hard work, and we have given you the that limited number of 1700 words. So focus on those. In fact, uh, a lot of our students who end up getting 330 plus, or definitely 320 plus ones, what they usually come back and say to us is that some of them could not even memorize the 14 word list. So some of them would like memorize just the 7-8 of the word list, and because they would run out of time or whatever. So I mean, I have rarely encountered a Jamboree student who had memorized the entire 14 word list. So even without memorizing the entire 14 word list, also there have been so many students who have got 330, 335, 340. So in fact, with the couple of students who have got 340, they had also not memorized the entire 14 word list, right? So all I'm trying to say is that, yes, vocabulary is important, but it's not that if your vocabulary is not strong, you will not get a good score. Okay, moving on. This is another GRE trick, right? So in a fill up the blanks type of questions, where you have to pick one word for a blank, right? So there are fill up the blanks type of questions where there will be a blank and there will be some options, and one of the options is going to be correct for that blank. So in those type of questions, if there are two similar meaning words, so they are never going to be a correct answer. So for example, so that is so even if you know the ballpark meaning of those words, you can eliminate them. So let's say there is a blank and then there are two options, three options, sorry, A, B, C, right? Now, if A and C have similar meaning, if you know the meanings of A and C, and if you find that they are similar in meaning, so they are not going to be correct. So this word B, even if you did not know the meaning of the word, so it is going to be the correct answer. So remember this. So if there are like the similar meaning words are not going to be the correct word, the correct answers for questions where you have to pick only one answer for the blank, right? So what I'm trying to say is that even if you don't know the meaning of this word now, still you know only the meanings of only two of the words, but if you see that they're similar in meaning, you can eliminate them, and you can just, the remaining one is going to be a correct answer. Okay, so that's a very important strategy when it comes to GRE vocabulary. Next is that, exact meanings or subtle difference in meanings are not tested. What it means is that, so on the GRE, you will not be required to know the exact meaning. For example, there is a slight difference between angry and furious, right? Angry and furious don't have the exact meaning. So so for now, you will never ever encounter a question, you will never ever face a question in the GRE exam where one of the options will be encounter and the other option will be furious. It will never happen. And if you do face such a question where one option is angry and the other option is furious, because they're similar in meaning, you can easily eliminate them, right? So the exact meanings or slight differences in meaning are not tested on the GRE. So a ballpark estimate and an overall an estimated meaning of the word also, if you know, that will work, right? Okay. So Divya, you were saying that. Divya, I think you missed when I was telling that for blanks where you have to pick only one answer option, there the similar meaning words you have to eliminate. Okay, Divya, is that clear? So just to repeat, so the similar meaning thing that I was talking, it's applicable to questions where for a blank you have to pick one correct answer. Gunjan, is that clear? So yes, you should know vocabulary, but you should also know how to use the vocabulary, right? There is a lot of focus on tone of words. know what by tone, what I mean is that in the English language, every word has either positive tone or negative tone or neutral tone. Now every word has to be either positive, negative, or neutral. Now let's just take, now direct. Is direct positive, negative, or what's a tone? What do you think? It's neutral, right? Direct is neutral. Direct, there's no, I mean, unless you know what it's a direct is neutral. Okay, let's say focus. Is focus, what is the tone of the word focus? Focus is positive, right? The tone is focus is positive. Yes, a lot of you are getting it correct. Good. Okay, what is the tone of the word word? What is the tone of the word, words? It's neutral, right? All right, so what's the tone of the word exact? So exact is usually positive. The tone is exact is positive, but depends on this, but mostly it is positive, right? So so that's what, I mean, that's what you have to learn to identify, especially in a sentence. What is, the how it is tested, right? But you would definitely know. For example, what is the, let me type it out. So what is the tone of the word happy? Happy is a positive word, right? How about damage? What's the tone of the word damage? Negative, right? So now, so you get an idea. So every word has a tone. So you should learn how to identify the tone of the words. Knowing, I mean, if you are able to identify the tone of the word, that will help you identify what kind of word you need in a blank. If the overall sentence, requires you to have a positive word in the blank, then all the negative words in the options you can eliminate, right? That is why you should learn how to identify the tone of the word. So this is a far more important skill than just memorizing words. This is actually, if you can do this, if you can learn to identify tone of words, so that is a far more useful and important skill that will help you get a good score. Everybody clear? So Ratna, so so for demo class, Ratna, if you want a more detailed demo class, you can leave your number in the chat window and we can arrange that for you. If you have already left your number, then we will arrange it for you. Don't have to worry. So anybody who wants a demo class of how this vocabulary is used in the actual GRE questions, so if you need a demo class, leave your number in the chat. We'll arrange that for you. It's a free demo class, obviously. Okay. All right, moving on. So learning in families and groups. Now you have to do some vocabulary, obviously, right? So how do you learn words? So there's a strategy. So this is a strategy that we teach in Jamboree. So I'm just going to do a couple of word groups with you. So we teach vocabulary in families or groups. So what it means is that, so there will be a group name and there will be maybe 5, 10, sometimes even 2, 3 words in that group. So all the words in this group, they have this meaning, right? So the family name or group name is the meaning of all the words in that group. So if you can memorize that, that's more than enough for you. So words with similar meanings are put in a single group or family. So earlier I mentioned that we have close to 1700 words in our word list. So in 1700 words are clubbed in around 320 groups, right? So there are 320 groups. So you have to basically memorize 320 meanings. So for those 1700 words, there are only 320 meanings. You don't have to individually memorize the meaning of each word. So all the words in a group will have the same meaning. So you don't have to learn the meanings of each word separately. So just let me show what I mean by this. Now in this, everybody can see the screen. Okay. So in this, so this is the meaning. Just beginning or developing. So simple enough. This is the meaning of all the words in this group. So embryonic, fledgling, inchoate, incipient, nascent, rudimentary. So instead of having to memorize the individual meanings of each of these words, you just have to memorize it. All of these mean just beginning or developing. More than enough. A lot of students, what they do, most students that I encounter, what they do is that they would like, okay, what's the meaning of embryonic? What's the meaning of fledgling? What's the meaning of blah, 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 etc., etc. And it becomes a lot of hard work because you are literally memorizing every word. And that takes up a lot of your memory space, lot of your time. But, what we teach is that for all these words, the only meaning is just beginning or developing. So immediately your work becomes, easy. Of course, you have to memorize these words, yes, but you are now not having to memorize 6 different meanings. For these words, you are just memorizing one meaning. Another example, right? So Dhwani wants to know when the webinar would get over. So around maybe another half an hour. So now let's say that this is another group. So all the words in this group mean perfect or without mistakes or perfect, right? So what are these words? All these words: flawless, immaculate, impeccable, infallible, integrity, irreproachable, probity, rectitude, unimpeachable. All of these words, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So these 9 words, now instead of having to memorize the 9 different meanings, in a normal, usually, this is a normal approach, right? That you memorize each word separately. So instead of doing that, you are just memorizing one meaning. All of these words mean, the broad meaning is that they are perfect without mistakes, right? All right. So now some of you want to know, where. So now, just one thing, right? So when you are now, how to even memorize these words? In the previous slide, I showed you that there are 9 words with the same meaning. Everybody agree? So some of you may be even facing trouble with memorizing those 9 words. Okay, what are the 9 words that mean perfect? Right? So what are the 9 words that mean perfect? So you should know that. Now there has to be a technique for that also. So you should know the number of groups. So those of you who have the Jamboree, Jamboree study material, just write it down. Group one, how many? Let's say you pick one of the let's say the prediction wala group. How many words are there, right? So you should know the number of words in every group. Then always write and practice. So this is one thing where, it is just, unless you write and practice, it will not happen. So once you are done with a word list, and if you think that you are done with the word list number 1, somebody say that you are done with 6 word lists. So I would strongly recommend that in a piece of paper, first write the group names. Okay, I don't expect you to memorize how many groups are there in every but write the group names. Then try to write down for every group which are the words. Writing helps a lot, trust me. Unless you practice by physically writing. So today, after this session, the Jamboree students, after this session, go home and try this. You will, you will find that suddenly your ability to retain the words would go up drastically if you write. And so let's say word list number 1 you are done, then just in a piece of paper write down just the group names of all the words that were there, of like there were eight or nine groups in word list number 1. Write those, then in memorize, and then try to remember and write the words in every word group. Can everybody hear me? Alphabet in our books or vocabulary app. So the words are given, given in an alphabetic order anyway, but it helps to memorize in alphabetic order. Like for just for a moment, let me go back to the previous slide. So now in this, if you see, so just start by thinking it can be any group. You can, okay, is there any word starting with A in this group? B, is there any word starting with C, D, E? So it helps the memorizing, it helps the recalling process, right? When you remember also alphabetically, you can recall also then alphabetically. Then make up your own story or mnemonic. I mean, some students find it useful. It's not like standardized, right? It's like if you think that you may have a certain way of memorizing the words, you feel free to do that, but it is not mandatory. For me, the method that definitely works with students in my like 13-14 years of experience till now is when students write and practice. So it helps to prepare your own flashcards, right? So flashcard, how do you prepare? So like physical, I'm not talking about online stuff, right? So physical, to prepare a physical flashcard, so just take a piece of paper, write the group name on this side, and at the back, write all the words alphabetically. Right? So when you are maybe traveling, or maybe you don't have access to the internet, or you are just waiting for something, just take out in your pocket. You should have 6-7 flashcards of the groups that you have difficulty memorizing, right? So you should have those in your pockets, in your wallet, maybe in your purse, whatever. Take out, just look at the group name, and then try to remember what words were there, etc. And the whole process of you manually making your physical flashcards, that itself will help you if you're memorizing process. So now all of you are at home during the lockdown. You don't have like what to say, you have enough time. You don't have anything else to keep you busy. Earlier you were busier, right? So just take out this time and make your physical flashcards. That activity, you writing down everything, that itself will help your memorizing process, right? Please try this out. This works a lot with students. I can guarantee, it had worked with like multiple of my students. So Trushil wants to know group on what basis. So I think you missed it. So the groups are similar, meaning words are put in one group, right? And the group name is the meaning of all the words in that group. You should also know that there's some basic rules to identify tone of words. So that this also we cover in our classes. Some of you know that words that start with mal are always negative, right? Words that start with, ben, 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 are always positive, like beneficial, beneficent, etc., etc., always positive. Words that start with de are usually negative, right? Like degrade, denigrate, so words that start with de are usually negative. So some basic information about roots would help, so that we cover in our classes anyway. So but it is also not that mandatory, but it will help you identify the roots of the words. Okay, anybody, any questions till now? So I see some people asking about AWS section. So the AWS section that score is not a part of 340. So AWA is scored separately on a scale of 0 to 6. That is not a part of 340. Your official GRE score would have the 340 score and the AWA score separately. So Raj, does it help? Okay, so I just because it's very important, I want to like repeat the process of how a flashcard can be made. So take an A4 size paper. Okay, my drawing is not that bad, not that good, very sorry. So this is supposed to be A4, by the way. First make 4 pieces out of it, right? Then just take this one piece, let's say. Okay, take this one piece. Now on one side write the group name, and on the reverse side write all the words that are in that group. Everybody clear? Meet Shah, did you understand how to make a flashcard on your own? Please do this. All right. So use the Jamboree vocabulary app. So we have, we have an app the Jamboree students would know. Even the non-Jamboree students, I mentioned that some of you are not, Jamboree students. So you can download our app, from the it's there on the Play Store, Google Play Store, as well as the Mac, App Store, iPhone App Store. So you can download it. It's called Simplify GRE Vocabulary. So the 14 word list that I was talking about, so it's there. The groups and the families, it's all there. You can download it from there and you can practice it. But yes, you can practice it online. You should practice it online. You should memorize online. But the physical act of writing down, then nothing works more than that. Okay. All right. So Shubham, your question is, should we write only those words on those flashcards that we do not remember? It's up to you. I would recommend that, why not make flashcards for, all the groups. But if your vocabulary is already strong, if you already know 30-40% of the words in word groups, then yes, make the flashcards for only the groups where you don't know some of the words. All right. So, so those of you who are in classes, what you should do is that first, of course, you use the classes to do your basic concept building. When you are in classes, definitely do this. Then once you're done with the classes, complete the questions on the online portal. After you are done with the classes, please do not use any more hard copy books. This is very important. The reason is that the GRE is going to be a computer exam. So try to limit the use of hard copy stuff. You will get used to solving questions on hard copy. And when you start taking full length test or anything online, you will have to then just master one more task. So that's not useful. So once you are done with your classes, once you are done with then all the practice, please do it online. Don't do with books. So all the all our questions, everything of the GRE book 2, all of it is there on the online portal also. So instead of doing on the book, don't waste your time and energy doing on the book. Get as much computer practice as you can. Right? So do all our book 2 questions are online. So do all the post class content online, right? And that is where you should be keeping track of your accuracy. So for example, in sentence completion, one single blank question, what percentage are you getting correct? 2 blanks, what percentage are you getting correct, etc., etc. So once your accuracy goes up, is more than 50%, then you should start timing yourself. Right? Once your accuracy becomes more than 50%, then take the on our online portal we have this sectional test, right? Sectional test means for one test of sentence completion, one test of reading comprehension. Take that in a timed manner. After that, move to the sectional test. Sectional test means it's a verbal section of 20 questions, an entire math section of 20 questions. Move to sectional test. There, the skill that you will be developing is called mental agility. That means ability to switch between different types of questions. GRE is actually not a very difficult test. What makes it difficult is that there are different types of questions, right from one question is sentence completion, suddenly you will get RC, suddenly you will get like a tree blank question. So that whole switching, from one type of question to the other type of question, that, that is a little difficult, all our lives, we have been in all our exams. If it's a physics exam, for entire 3 hours we are doing physics. If it's an English exam, entire 3 hours we are doing English. But now it's not like that. GRE is very, it requires you to be flexible enough mentally to switch from different types of questions. So that is a skill that you have to build, which the sectional test will help you do. So after that, go to the sectional test. And then finally, you have to sit for 4 hours, right? So you need a lot of stamina. And not just sit for 4 hours. You have to concentrate till the very last question. So to build your and your strategy for GRE. It's not that, oh, let me learn words, or okay, let me learn how to do reading comprehension questions. So you are just then studying bit by bit. You have to follow this plan to make sure that your entire thing then comes together at the end. Ultimately, your target is to get a high GRE score, right? So you have to follow the process. You have to gain all the skills that's necessary for you to get a high score. All right, is this clear, everybody? All right, so so if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Those of you, if anybody, if you want to leave, you can do so. If you want a demo class, then leave your number in the chat window, and we'll reach out to you. If you have those of you, who have questions, please raise your hand. Use the raise hand feature. I will then enable your mic, and then you can ask your question. Right? Don't type as far as possible. Don't type your questions in the chat window. And in case we are not able to address your questions, then also leave your number and someone will. Abhishek, I've given you mic access. Yes, Abhishek, what is your question?
Ma'am. I was asking which book should have words.
I didn't understand your question. Can you say it again?
Ma'am, I was asking which book should we refer for GRE words.
So I would not like refer any particular book. So have you downloaded our app? It's a free app. Have you downloaded that?
No, ma'am.
I think you start with the Jamboree's vocabulary app. Finish that and then think about what other resources you can do, right?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Because those are the high frequency GRE words, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Ankit Kumar, what's your question?
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, hi,
I have lot of my questions. My first question is, how many words should I learn so that guarantees that I would answer each question that asks for vocabulary?
Okay, there is no answer to that. There is no guarantee. But the good place to start off with is, are you a Jamboree student?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so at least the first step for you would be try to memorize the 1700 words that are in Jamboree's vocabulary list. Do that at least. Start with that. Then take a full-length mock test and see whether that is helping you get a high score or not. If you still encounter words that you don't know the meanings of, then you can think about other resources, right?
Yeah, ma'am. My second question is how to improve our skills for verbal and quantitative reasoning.
That's a very loaded question because why? Because currently I don't know. Improve means that you are at a certain level and you want to go up, right? And currently I don't know what level you are at.
Actually, ma'am, I want the techniques or the free resources that I can use to help me.
Do you have the official GRE official guide?
Yeah, ma'am. I really purchased 2 days earlier.
Okay. So, do you have the GRE, verbal reasoning and GRE quantitative reasoning official guides also?
No, ma'am.
So official, there are 3 books, made by ETS. One is
Yeah,
the
ma'am.
official guide, which you have already purchased. Then there are 2 books, one for math, one for verbal. They're called official guide for verbal reasoning and official guide for quant reasoning, right? So quantitative reasoning. So they have all the concepts that are tested on the GRE. So that those would be a good place to start off with.
Actually, problem is that, ma'am, I never faced any exam that asks for verbal reasoning and quantity. So it's my first time to tackle there.
Yeah,
So
yeah, of course. Actually, very few students have taken a GRE type of exam in their life. So that's not a very big deal. So spend some time on the concepts. Then in the official guide, you might have seen they have got 2 full-length tests. The official
yeah,
guide
ma'am,
also
I
has
should
a C.
focus solving most of questions. That is really good for me.
Right, right, sure. So I think that is a good place to start. But of course, they don't teach any shortcuts and strategies. So that is a little bit of a problem, but that's okay. You can, if you are looking only for free resources, then I think official guides are good enough.
And ma'am, if you don't mind, can you give your number? I really want to talk to you regarding
So
profile
we are not
evaluation.
allowed. We are not allowed to give our personal numbers. But if you leave your number in the chat, then then reverse we can do. We can call you.
Yeah, ma'am, I had given the number inquiry for Jamboree, but they refused my number.
They refused your number means. So anyway, leave your number in the chat right now.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you so much.
All right. Ananya, what's your question? Yes, Ananya, I have enabled your mic. You can switch it on and speak. Ananya, you can unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So can you please recap from the first slide, like just very, very, very briefly?
Recap the entire session.
Yeah. Or just show me the slides.
See, that will not be possible, but we are recording this session. So the
Okay.
recording by default be sent to everybody.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Kunjal Kamerkar.
Hello, am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, I can hear you.
Ma'am, my question is regarding spelling mistakes. I'm like solving the problem while reading. No, I'm getting so much, like I can't read words properly and
Your voice is
how
cracking. Your voice is cracking. Can you step in?
Okay, ma'am, I'm going through so much spelling mistakes. Avoid that. Hello.
Yes, can you say it again? Your voice is cracking.
Ma'am, actually, I'm having some network issues. So,
No.
my question is, okay, now can I speak? Okay, ma'am, my question is, I'm having so many spelling mistakes. I have watched so many videos and I have improved myself, but again and again, I don't know what to do for that.
You mean for the AWS section?
Yeah.
Why do you need spelling? For the AWS essays?
Yes, ma'am. Like while writing and reading, the spellings are not correct, then we'll misguide the word, and then the meaning is changing. So for that,
So you're I think nowadays all of us are so very dependent on auto spell correct. I think a lot of our spellings are not right anyway. So in the GRE, the only section where you will need to make sure that you do not do not misspell a lot is the AWS section where you have to write the essays. So there my recommendation would be that you use simple words whose meanings you definitely know, right? Otherwise, you don't
Okay,
have
ma'am.
to kind of know the spelling, let's say. Yes, Antriksh, what's your question?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, ma'am. So I had a question that, according to you, when would be the best time to appear for the exam, considering 1st December as the deadline for universities?
Try taking it around September-ish, so that even if you don't get a good score, you have enough time to prepare again and retake. Plus, you have to give yourself enough time to prepare your application packet also. Right? Does that help? Garima Rawat, what's your question? Yes, Garima Rawat, you can unmute yourself.
Hi, ma'am.
Yes, hi.
Actually, I have joined the session from the middle, so I didn't see what you have covered in the beginning. But just wanted to know like how we can handle the RCs, like because for the smaller RCs we can easily like read and complete it in 2 minutes or something. But for the longer RCs, how what is the approach? Like how should we follow?
Okay, this session is specifically for vocabulary, but for longer RCs, again, I'll just answer it very quickly. So shorter passages, if you're taking 2 minutes, then longer passages, like something that has more than 2 paragraphs, you can budget about 4 minutes.
Sorry, we can budget about?
About 4 minutes.
Okay.
But that is with the understanding that the shorter passages you are taking 2 minutes to read, that the single blank questions you are solving in around 40 seconds. So it's the entire those 30 minutes, the whole time management overall is what is important, right?
Yeah.
Right. Keruli, do you have a question? You can unmute yourself, Keruli. Keruli, if you have a question, you can unmute yourself. Okay, I think maybe she Ashwarya, I have now given mic access to you. You can unmute yourself and ask your query. Ashwarya, are you there? Ashwarya, no. Okay. Preeti, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, hi Arunima. So I have
Yeah, hi.
if AWS score doesn't count for GRE access score, so how does from 1 to 6 rating help you to get an admission into good college?
So the the GRE, there's a score that is given out of 340, right? Which is the math and the verbal. And then the AWS score is scored on 0 to 6, that is AWA.
Yeah.
So yes, the AWS score does not contribute to this score, but the universities have a cutoff for the AWS score. So they look at AWS score separately, and the minimum that you have to score is 3.5 out of 6.
Okay. And like online practice session, what Jamboree will be offering will have like same pattern what we'll be giving at GRE exam.
Yeah, we use the official content, obviously. So all our questions, everything are from GRE only. I mean, official GRE material only. So yes, the way we teach everything, the way we grade everything is, standardized and are based on how GRE is actually going to rate your test.
Okay, and we'll be knowing like about our abilities and all by your assessment regularly.
Yeah, actually how it works is that you will first get an AWA class, and then your faculty would ask you would give you a list of topics, and your faculty would ask you to write an essay and email the faculty. So the feedback giving is done one-on-one.
Okay. And there'll be
Hello, Preeti, I can't hear you.
yeah, there'll be particular topics or anything like any topic can be.
The particular topics. There's a standard pool of topics. If you go to the GRE official GRE website, gre.org, So the official topics for the essays are already there on the website. So the faculty would ask you to pick a topic from the GRE website and write an essay on that.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Yes, Shubham.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, so I have actually two questions.
Yes.
One is like so like in previous section like for the quant one, so they basically like explained like strategies like in the first section if you miss some questions then like how much your score can be affected or like which topic like gets more weightage. So like if you know get those questions wrong then like your score like that much score will be like affected. I mean you can't get more than that score. So can you like throw some light on that if you have enough time?
So you may have joined a little late because I did cover that in the initial portion. That in the verbal section, 50% of the questions are from reading comprehension and 50% are fill up the blanks type of questions, where around 10 questions,
Yeah, I saw that, but like the weightage wise, so the weightage in the sense like uh, uh, like in the first section. So if since it's a adaptive test, so in the first section if we get some one or two question we missed, so like this much score is gone. So like you know in that way, so like how does it affect if
Oh, okay, you mean section wise you were asking?
yeah, section wise, and also like in quant like there is more weightage to quantitative reasoning type questions. So like if
Even
we
in GRE, even in verbal, the same thing. There's more weightage to more on the reasoning based questions. So in the reading comprehension questions, for example, there is more whenever the function type of questions. I'm sure you might have encountered. What is the function of the sentence? Function of the word? So those type of questions have higher weightage.
okay
The
there are some
Yeah.
critical reasoning type questions. So
Yeah, the CR questions are also, no, I'm talking about the passages first. The critical
okay,
reasoning is one category. So that also they have, they have higher, they have weightage, but critical reasoning between the two sections, you will probably get just about 2 CR questions. You will not get a lot. Majority of the questions will be where you read a passage and answer so out of 42, you will get direct CR type questions. And the others are going to be that you read a passage then and you solve the question, right? So the function based questions, they have far more weightage. The questions where to select a sentence type of questions, they also have higher weightage. So yes, but because in a passage, to get that correct, you anyway have to read the passage. So you should not focus on a particular type of question. So that is usually because the focus should be on understanding the passage. If you do that, then you will get almost everything correct, right? Now in the fill up the blanks type of questions, between the two sections you will get 6 to 8 sentence equivalence questions where you have to pick two answer choices for a blank. So in the fill up the blank question also there is more weightage. So of the 20 questions that you will get 10 questions in the first section and 10 questions in the second questions. Of the 20 fill up the blanks questions that you would get, 6 to 8 will be of sentence equivalence type.
so
3 blank question, you will maximum get 2. You will not get more than 2. So out of the 20 questions, so out of the 40 total overall 40 questions. So because in verbal you are going to get 40 questions. So out of the total 40 questions, the 3 blank questions, you will maximum get 2. You will not get more than 2. So if you are
okay,
getting lot of 3 blank questions wrong also, you should not worry. You will
okay,
anyway be getting, you will not get more than 2.
okay.
Right?
Like
You will get lots
since
of 3 blank questions.
okay, like since sentence equivalence questions are like bit tough to answer because like it needs a good vocabulary base. So yeah, like
Sentence
if that
equivalence you will get out of this 6 to 8 will be sentence equivalence questions. More 8 than 6.
okay, and okay. Okay, one more question I have. So like, okay, I'm a Jamboree student. So like, since the phase one has like almost completed, you know, like all the sessions have been completed.
Have you got
But
access to your online portal yet?
online portal I can access. So yeah, so like there are, I mean, some of the sessions that like we missed, like because of like you know job pressure and all. Like, is it sufficient? Like, if we and also like one is like structure part, because like in all those sessions like RCs and all those were kind of mixed. Questions were mixed.
Yeah.
So yeah. So like, how can approach like right now to cover those?
So I would recommend, because you have very specific questions specific to your preparation. So I would recommend, because you're already a Jamboree students, I would recommend you to get in touch with your faculty.
Okay, are these, because like since recordings are like too long to watch, so like is it recommendable that there are?
We give unlimited doubt sessions, right? So I would recommend that you connect with your faculty first for a study plan, your study plan customized to your target score and your exam date. Get a study plan, get your doubts solved one on one. So you already always have access to the faculty.
Okay, like basically like I wanted to ask, like since on the dashboards there are videos for each topic, so like if we just watch that video and like move on to those yellow book, or I mean those questions.
So you can
practice
do
question.
that, yeah, you can do that also. But as I said, you are already enrolled students, so why don't you
Yeah.
interact with your faculty to get some customized, a study plan? That might be better. That will save you time.
Okay, fine.
Right? All right. Tanmay. Tanmay, what's your question?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Ma'am, actually I have two doubts. So the first one is that you talking about the AWA section. So I just wanted you to brief us about a little bit, like what is it exactly based on? Like, do you need context or vocabulary in that, or else like how do
I think
you?
this session is about vocabulary only. So I don't want to get into that. So what is the AWA section, etc. So those questions you can get if you go to the GRE website, gre.org. You will get the topics, what kind of topics. You will get sample essays. So you will get all of that information on the GRE website itself.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll take just two more questions. So Rituparna, do you have any query?
Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, ma'am, I have three questions. My first question is on ETS website, there are so many essay topics there, argument and issue topics. So how to cover all the topics in 2 months preparation?
See, first of all, you should not write, each essay. If you practice like around, 7 to 8 issue essays, 7 to 8 argument essays, it should be fine. But knowing what the topic will be, it helps. So you go through the topics, make some points. You don't write the entire essay, but make some points.
Okay, ma'am.
It's very useful if you make some points and think of what to write about, so that you would spend time, not get surprised by a topic, right?
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, can you please do a session on AWA topics and all next time? Means if you have any.
Are you subscribed to our YouTube channel? So in our YouTube channel, we have real video, both issue and argument essays.
Okay, ma'am. I will check that. And my second question is that RC for RC topics, RC in RC there are so many long passages are there. While I am going through that, after 2 passages, I lost what I read in first passage, first paragraph. So how to tackle that?
Now, are you a Jamboree student?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so have you discussed this problem with your faculty?
No, ma'am, I did not comment like did.
Because I think that will be a better. He or she will be a better person to help you, because you are already an enrolled student, so you should take advantage of your faculty. Now all of you get unlimited access to your faculty. So
Okay, ma'am.
take advantage of that. Write to your faculty. Get a one-on-one doubt session. Get a one-on-one RC session. You can do that, right?
Means and how?
Yeah,
Hello?
Yeah.
Ma'am, how to get that 1 and 1 season? Means like I can't go to class now.
Center? Who is the center manager?
Yeah.
Who is your center manager?
Ma'am, Namrata ma'am.
Right. So write to Namrata that you want a verbal doubt clearing session. She will see for you.
Okay, ma'am. One more question. For 2021 fall, which is the best time to write GRE?
September is what I would recommend so that you will have enough time to like take it again also in case you don't get a good score in the first attempt.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, thank you so much.
So guys, that's all. I'm sorry we could not take all of your questions, but if you have left your numbers in the chat window, we will call you and we'll get back to you. So thank you very much. I hope you guys learned something new in the session. All the best for your GRE exam.